Hi AIS 535 students. In this video I'm going to talk about Zotero and how you can use it. I know that some of you have been on the fence or you still want to stick with using and creating references manually. I fully support that. I'm not requiring you to use Zotero, but I want to show you and walk you through how it can help you with your papers and your research. So I'm going to start off by scrolling down through the class and using the quick access to OneSearch advanced search screen. Open this up our search box. What I'm going to do is I'm using OneSearch. Nice, simple, straightforward search. I already have my Zotero open and we'll be switching to it in a few minutes. I'm not going to limit it to any particular field. I want everything that I can find. But since we're really only looking for articles, I'm not interested in books, I'm not interested in videos. I'm going to change this from everything to articles. And I'm interested in the psychological effect that COVID-19 has had on students, specifically student stress. So we're going to type in COVID-19 and student and stress. Don't have to put the ands in between, it automatically does them. Since we're only searching for articles as we indicated up here, we don't have to indicate it over here on the right. I'm not interested in any language restrictions or anything like that. I'll deal with whether things are online or not after I see results. So let's click on search. I've got 23,000 hits. The default for OneSearch is that it is by relevancy. And it will display things we do have online, things we don't have online, things we don't have at all. It's part of the settings for what we have with OneSearch. So I'm going to change the relevancy and the sorting to date newest. Then I want only those that are available online because half the classes is in an online only program. Quite frankly, if we don't have it in online, we can get it for you if we don't have it in our collections. But initially I just want to look for things that are available online. I also want to look at only peer-reviewed journal articles. I don't care about trade literature at this point. I click on both of those, click on apply filters. That narrows it down to 5,000. So I've got date newest, got something that will be published in June. It's predated. It's written in Spanish. I don't read Spanish, so I'm not interested in that article. So we've got prior drinking motives predict alcohol consumption. Talking about a cross survey they did with Belgian college students. Might be fascinating, but not for my interests. Okay, so here's what we've got. Not interested in the Belgian students drinking. We have parenting activities and transition to home-based education. That might be interesting if we're looking at non-college students. Maybe what I should have done is, since I really want to look at college students, I might want to throw that into the mix. But I think at this point, I'm just going to look and see it for purposes of this video. So let's take a look at our informal and incidental learning during COVID-19, because sometimes I have some education students that are also taking this class. So it tells me that information about the article, I know it's available online through Sage. Here's what I recommend. If you're not going to use Zotero, then look at the citation tool, but also keep in mind it's the starting point, not the end point. It's not as accurate as it could be. We've already complained. I want the article. I click on the Sage Premier 20 in this case. It takes you to the publisher's site after I log in. And displays the article itself along with download a PDF, things like that. So now what I'm going to do is up here in the upper right hand corner, I've got an icon, but it says it's recognizing it as a web page. Well, that's not going to help us very well. But what we want to do is wait a minute until it finishes loading, because once I did that, you'll now see that it changes to a page icon and it says save to Zotero. First thing I want to do is go back to my Zotero, make sure I have the correct class or the correct folder, subfolder that I want to have. Since I named mine AS535 Winners because it's winter semester, that's where it's going to be dumping. It's one of those folders I have that has very few entries in them. So I'm going to switch back to my article information, click on the page icon up here. It's going to download it into Zotero. Also, citation information in the PDF. Okay, when I go back and switch over to Zotero, there it is. Has all of the information, including the citation, the abstract, DOI, author's title, everything that I need. Wonderful. Let's go back to our search results. And let's grab one more. Not interested in nursing or pediatric residents, as wonderful if this is a nursing or medical class. I've got some virtual HRD role. Mental health of college. Oh, this might be interesting. Mental health of college students during the COVID-19 epidemic in China. This was today, February 1st, in Journal of Affective Disorders. Let's take a look at that. And what I may want to do is go back and modify my search further and narrow it down to college or university students. So I've got this available through Elsevier. Gives me the authors, different subject headings that were used in the OneSearch database, including they use college students. Really nice, extensive abstract. So let's click on the link for Elsevier Science Direct. This is coming from the Science Direct database. It's February of 21. It's published in volume 280, part A, pages 7 to 10. What you'll notice is that during the pandemic, most of the articles, regardless of who's publishing them, are being provided for free through a number of different databases and publishers. Anything having to do with COVID-19 pandemic. So you can keep that in mind if you're thinking about that type of research topic. So I look in the upper right hand corner, there's my page icon. Let's click on that one, save that one to Zotero. This one is also grabbing a snapshot of the screen that I'm looking at. Sometimes that can come in handy, especially for web pages, not articles like we have here. Switch over to Zotero. So I've got my mental health one. First lead author was Fu. And the other one that I had was the Informal and Incidental Learning, published by Watkins. So those are the two that I want to cite in my paper. So let's go to our Word document. I've got a number of them open here. We'll start with my new paper. I'm not going to go through creating a sentence or anything like that. What I want to do instead is just jump to the chase. When you install Zotero, make sure you have Word closed. Click on the Zotero tab because it will automatically, when it installs Zotero, it automatically adds to plugin with Microsoft Word. There's also a similar plugin for Google Docs. So we're typing along. I'll just type some garbage here. First thing you want to do is do an in-text citation. You don't have to worry about leaving breadcrumbs because this will be the actual citations. Now, if you're a type of student where you like doing all of your references at the end, you can do that with Zotero. If you're the type of student that wants to add references as you go along, which is what we're going to do, that'll work too. Whichever way works best for you. So we have first our in-text citation. Click on Add Edit Citation. Always double check to make sure what style you're using. We're using APA 7th edition. Click on OK. It'll bring up a snapshot of Zotero. If you're not seeing this snapshot interface, if you're just seeing a red line with a big Z, then you haven't customized it according to the guidelines we have on the installation and customization guide. Go back and take a look at it. It'll definitely save you a lot of time. So the first one that I want to include was the Watkins and Marsnick. So I click on the title of the article. I'm not looking at a direct quote. If you want to see what it's going to look like, you can click on the Show Editor. And it shows us our two authors along with the year. I click on OK. Further on in my paper, I'll do another type of in-text citation. What I wanted to do is we want to create a new page for our references. We'll just move down a little further so you can see that on the screen. I'm going to have it add the bibliography, so it added the first one. Now what I want to do is I have my next in-text citation, and this one is the foo one. I click on Add Edit Citation, click on my foo entry, show the editor so I can see it's foo et al., which means that it is 6 or more authors. And let's say I'm going to do a direct quote off of this. So I'm going to switch back to my Zotero. And look at that foo article. And the foo article, it goes from 7 to 10. So I want to do a direct quote. With the foo article that appears on page 8. So you can actually tell it, type in a page number here, it'll automatically put in the correct format. As you can see here, I click on OK. It properly formats it for the in-text narrative. It also added that reference correctly. Capitalized what needs to be capitalized because it was originally capitalized. Italicizes the title of the journal, has the volume number, the page numbers, and the date. If you notice, same thing with the Watkins article and the DOI. The Journal of Effective Disorders, the foo one, they didn't include the issue number. So what we want to do is we need to fix this because APA 7 now says include the issue number when that's used for the journal. Let's go back and take a look at that foo article results. The publisher's website, the issue number is actually calling it Part A. And if you noticed in our Zotero entry, no Part A, so we need to add that in our issue number. You don't have to put in parentheses, it'll take care of that for us. So we're doing Part A, hit enter. Now I don't have to go back and re-enter the in-text citation. All I need to do is this. Click on my references, tell it to refresh, and it will insert that Part A. You always want to make changes in your references, not in your paper, but change Zotero and then refresh, and it will reflect the changes. Also, if you notice, the article title for that had only the COVID-19, the acronym, and China capitalized, and also mental health, the word mental, first title there. But in the Watkins, every significant word seems to be capitalized. So because they did have informals capitalized, but incidental learning is supposed to be in lowercase, but it isn't. So let's go back and fix that also. So let's go look at the Watkins one here. Since we're only going to change 2 of these words, we'll just left click on it and change them manually. Note that if you've got a really long title and the only thing that gets capitalized is maybe the first word of a title and a subtitle following a colon, or maybe an acronym, you can also click on and do sentence case. In this case, it's quicker just to go in and change incidental learning to lowercase, because if I would do the sentence case, I'd also have to recapitalize COVID because it's an acronym. So I've changed it in Zotero. Let's go back to our paper, click on refresh, and now I've got the correct format of the article title. Have any further questions about how to use Zotero? As we go through and look at other resources, I will be providing further examples, either screenshots or short videos. Thank you.